Welcome, fam, to the Soul Tribe podcast, a place where hearts meet wisdom, where we gather together around our virtual kitchen table to share, connect, and grow together. I'm your host, Aunty Charmaine, and I'm honored to have you here as part of our tribe. In this space, we dive into conversations that nurture the spirit and lift the soul. We'll explore the richness of herbalism, spirituality, mindful practices, and uncovering paths of health and wellness and spiritual soundness. These are the conversations we all crave, and I am so glad to have these conversations with you. So pull up a chair and bring an open heart, and let's talk, learn, and heal together. All of us together. This is the Soul Tribe, and you're at home. So let's dive in. Welcome, everyone, to the Soul Tribe podcast. It is me, Aunty Charmaine, here, and we're here with our second episode, and we are calling this episode Breaking Free, Living Beyond Your Old Reality and Stepping into Your True Vision. So today we're going to talk about it, and we're going to dig deep and get real about the path to transformation. Today we're talking about something I know so many of us feel, wanting that fresh new life while finding ourselves still holding on to pieces of the past. Why does that happen? Why do old habits, old realities, and even old relationships keep pulling us back when yearning to move forward? And how can we stay present and keep on focus to the vision that we truly desire for ourselves? I'm going to ask you as we sit here together, me, you, having a wonderful time conversating about this very thing. What is it about the old reality that makes it feel so hard to leave behind, even when we're ready to step into something new? See, the thing I understand, sweetheart, you all being young or may not understand, Auntie understand how old habits and old ways of being literally feel as though you're sleeping. A lot of times we don't even realize that we're doing it. Like, sincerely, we have no clue that we're speaking in the old ways that no longer serve us. We are thinking old thoughts that don't serve us. We are feeling old things and experiencing in a karmic loop that very reality. So I would beg to say that it is a conscious effort. It requires you to slow life down and focus on what is the vision, and every day moving the needle forward just a little bit more towards that vision. And for each of us here, knowing, living, listening, think about it like this. Is there a habit, a way of thinking, or even a relationship that feels familiar, but you know it no longer serves your future vision? The one thing I understood is that you can't take everybody with you. You can't. It's impossible. If I am still friends with the same friends I was friends with in grade school, and now I am a grandmother, that is either one or two things. Me and this person is growing in symbiosity at the same time, or I haven't grown at all. There has to be a give, pull, take evolution of life. And usually with that evolution comes a breaking of away of things that no longer serve us. How can we start trusting the vision is ours, even if our current life doesn't look like it? Now, that is a question Auntie can answer, because I have been down this road so many times, it's not even funny. I understand how faith without works really does work, because you have to hold on to that vision so strongly that it is permeating an emotion from within. And with that emotion from within, do you start making the proper choices that are taking you in the direction that that vision is guiding you? So if you're wanting to be a mom, the vision should always start with you. Becoming more patient, becoming more balanced, making sure the body is strong and healthy as humanly possible. Allowing yourself to enjoy your pregnancy and allowing yourself to feel as though you're experiencing something new that you are savoring, like the best wine you ever had. What would it take for you to truly live with that level of faith today? Well, for me, it took 2 miscarriages, financial ruin, and a lot of tears. Yes, it had to take tragedy to bend my knees. And it's a funny thing because a lot of us, unfortunately, have to learn the hard way. It's a horrible thing when you have to see people struggle. And so I try to put myself in a position where I can see things from a third person perspective. And I can clearly see how asleep I really was, and I didn't know it. So literally, tragedy had to shock me, which stopped me on the path that I was on twice. And then the financial ruin came, and that just perpetuated the very thing that I had no other choice but to deal with. And that was, am I okay? Can I move forward? How do I move this energy forward? What is this new existence that I'm experiencing? How do I articulate how I'm feeling? How do I digest all of this change? And literally a day at a time. No longer did I take days at a time to hear myself think. No longer did I allow myself days at a time to think about my future. I lived moment by moment, day by day, and I allowed myself to feel, and I allowed myself to fall apart, and I allowed myself to be okay with life being really shitty. Yeah, let's keep it a being. I allowed myself to be okay with life being really, really shitty and being really scary. And I said to myself, okay, this is really, really hard. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just stopping and I'm praying and I'm listening and I'm hoping for a voice to return to me. And that's when my epiphany on this journey came to a more sincere place. My spirituality was not just a matter of formality. It actually was a deeper and more sincere connection with the divine creation. And it allowed the divine creator to exist within my being in a way that it had never before. So, what role does fear play in keeping us stuck in old cycles? Fear is literally the handcuffs to the past memories that don't serve you, that you've healed from. And every time you engage with that emotion, it takes a little bit more from you and a little bit more from you. And then all of a sudden, now you're dealing with anxiety. Now you're dealing with fear and anxiety. Then you go from fear and anxiety to dealing with fear, anxiety, and depression. And then it's one thing after the other. And then at some point, something must stop you on your tracks to say, enough, enough. But it's crazy when life has to make you sit down and tell you that, listen, we're not doing this. You must change. And you're an Aquarius. You're kicking and screaming. Hell no, we won't go. And you realize, no, you must go. You have to evolve. You have to grow up. So fear is literally the handcuffs that keep us stuck to past memories that don't serve us. So, when we feel fear, how can we meet it with a compassion instead of letting it pull us back? I would say ways in which I have dealt with not letting fear pull me back. Literally, I instantly decide to do something that goes in the direction that I'm wanting to go in, that vision that brings me joy, pleasure, happiness. I will literally do something like this podcast, might I say, that brings me happiness. I will do something that goes in the direction of the vision in which I hold dear. That is what I will do. I will literally stop in my tracks and go for a walk. I move the energy forward. I will journal about something. I will read a book like The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel. These are things that we can do. Stop in your tracks. If you're having a hard day, I'm having a hard day. It doesn't matter who it is. Give yourself a beautiful bath, a spiritual bath. Massage yourself, love yourself, be good to yourself. Allow yourself to be that person who is worthy of stopping in the tracks and getting their needs met. So, why is living in the present such a powerful tool for moving forward? Well, it's something about knowing that right now is happening and you're engaging in the now. It's a very unique feeling because you're only focused on what is currently happening and you have no real desire to know anything about your very near future, and you're not looking in the past, but you're sitting with yourself where you are as you are, and you are allowing yourself to actually enjoy the moment. So if we focus on the here and the now, what might we start noticing? So, some of the things that we will notice when we're paying attention is the synchronicities. What are the synchronicities that are trying to capture your attention, bringing you to a place where you can keep that vision in the forefront of your mind? What are some things you can't explain? They're everywhere. There are messages everywhere. If we just stop, slow down, and pay attention to the synchronicities, these are some of the things that we can focus on to keep that vision in the forefront of our minds. So, what are some of the beliefs or thoughts that you need to let go of for this new life? Listen, there were several of thoughts and beliefs that I had created over the times that no longer served me. I realized that I could be a spiritual practitioner and be sexy and cute and not have to have dreadlocks and have all of the extra to prove my divine connection and my earthiness. I also realized that I did not have to be a pauper either. I could actually make a difference in this world. And if I focused on my passion, I focused on my purpose, I met the needs of those who I was intended to meet the needs of. If I put them first, the money was coming anyway. It's these realizations that you gain when you do stop and pay attention to all of the synchronicities that we have in our path. Those are the things that we need to do. So, as we're listening to and taking a moment to reflect. What are some ways that we can show up in this world and actually change things for the better? Understanding and knowing that everybody's path is going to look very, very different. You cannot anticipate that your path is going to look like mine or yours, or mine's are going to look like yours. We have to understand that our paths, our visions will be very different. And therefore, being open to how different it can be and not being so concerned with the opinions of others is vital to ensure that your path is meant to meet your needs. Every path that we take is connected to a lesson, and every lesson is connected to a blessing. So, the better question I have is, when it feels like things aren't changing fast enough, how can we stay committed to the vision and trust the timing? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I was the queen of impatience. The queen. Everything had to be done right now. Nothing could ever wait. It had to be done right now, because if not, the world was going to fall away and the sky was falling. And I realized that is a very dramatic way of living, and therefore drama is what you will inherit. So I realized that the is trying to give us perfect, and we're trying to give ourselves right now. We live in a very microwave generation of people who decide that right now is right now. We got to have it right now. But what if the vision you were intended to have was meant for you to have a perfect expression of the divine? And what if that took time? So I've learned ways of coping with being impatient. I will literally be in line at a grocery store, and I will sit there and take that time to meditate and say a couple of prayers. I'll be in traffic. Instead of getting annoyed, I will enjoy my car and sit there and listen to music and just vibe out. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, instead of catching an attitude and throwing out negative venom at people, I will sit and I will read a book that will give me inspiration of some kind. What I realize is that we all have choices, and it's always the choices that we're making that will determine the outcome that we live. So, what are some of the practices that I've started employing for my life, my daily life, to keep my vision alive? And maybe this will give you some inspiration. I don't know. One of the things that I decided to start doing was I started hiking. Yes. Now, listen, I'm a Brooklyn girl through and through, and I have lived in Tennessee for over 30 years. And I became a in the woods kind of a girl. And I'm loving it, though. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's not, there's no sound, there are no demands. And I get to sit with myself, and I get to be with my thoughts, and I get to enjoy my life, and I get to live, and it feels amazing. It feels amazing. It gives me hope. It allows my cup to be renewed. So when I do come back in the world, I can be of real service. I can actually meet the needs of my customers who come into my store. I can actually write a blog from a place of inspiration because I've been there and I've done it and I know what I've experienced. And if I've had to go through hard times and maybe you can gain inspiration from it, then it was worth it. These are all the things that we can do to find ourselves in a place where we are experiencing a life that feels worthwhile. So I have an inspirational affirmation that I want you to say to yourself every day. I am worthy of the new life I envision, and I am ready to release what no longer serves me. I trust that my vision is meant for me and it is on its way, unfolding in divine timing. I am fully present in each moment, knowing that every step I take is moving me closer to my dreams. I release fear and embrace faith, knowing that my future holds beautiful possibilities. I want you to actually do this every single day. I want you to adapt with beautiful gratitude, daily gratitude practices that you can definitely adapt to that can bless you. I want you to breathe and ground yourself every single day, if at least every day, and if you can't every day, at least once a week. I want you to release the need for control. Trying to control something greater than yourself is a complete waste of time. And I want you to set small intentional goals for your day every day. These are actual things that you can do that will bring you closer and closer to your vision. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Soul Tribe, remember, if you can see it, it is already yours. Don't let those old cycles trick you into thinking that change isn't possible, because you are capable of so much. Each day you spend in alignment with your vision is a step closer to becoming real and more excited about the new life that you hold. So stay grounded, stay present, and know that life is only waiting for you to claim it. Until next time, and remember to live each day with intention and keep holding on to the vision. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me today at the Soul Tribe. I'm so grateful to have you here in this sacred space we share, a place where we can grow, heal, and remember who we really are together. As you go back into your life, I invite you to carry the wisdom that we shared here today. Let it guide you. Remember, alignment with your spirit, living with intention, connecting deeply with each other is what makes our journey so powerful, so wonderful. If today's episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who may need these words. And know that Auntie is always here and will continue to show up for the Soul Tribe. Me and you. Peace and love.